So back at the transporter again, guys, and yeah, I got the head off this thing, and as previously expected, the guy that done the head, done the valve semi-sealed, reused the old gasket. Now why would you do that? 40 quid, 40 euros new gasket, and he went and used the old gasket. He had no business putting a head gasket back in this thing anyway. Later this you'll see. First thing you notice is the valves are making heavy contact with the pistons all the time. So you have a nice big gouge there where the valve is just whack, 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 just hitting it all the time. Same with this. Second thing is the bores. We can hear that. There is a fair bit of play in that, and there's a step. There's a lip on the bore, which you're never going to really see on the camera, but it's very bad. It's not just a case of putting new rings on this, because these pistons are quite burnt. A lot of that's carbon from burning oil, but every single piston, maybe if I could turn it, you could see it height wise, it's buried into the piston, each valve. Then we go to the head. More bad news for the head. First thing at comp is between the valves, crack. Now I didn't look at the head. She's probably cracked in other places, but she's cracked on cylinder 2, cylinder 3. See the crack? Cylinder 4. These are not just hairline cracks. These you could put your fingernail into them. Cylinder number 5. That's the worst one. So the only course of action that made any sense for this thing was to go get a different engine, which I've gone and done. I'm in the process now of, I put a new timing belt on it on the front. I have a new timing belt now for the pump, and the 2.5 is set to 0.55 millimeters, but on the 2.4, just give my camera a bit of a wipe. Sorry, this might be better. Yeah, the 2.5 is not picking up those numbers. There we go. So she's set to 0. I'll show you in a minute where it goes in the pump, but I might have to leave the camera down just while I organize it. But this pulley here is loose, so he can turn. You put your spanner on your fuel pump, so I can turn that. Top dead center, you see the little mark and the V. It's probably not focusing properly on that, but your mark is on the gearbox casing, and then your mark on the flywheel. So that's bang on line. Your camshaft is already set on this side. It's another one with no keyway. So I'm going to go ahead, and this one is set to 1 millimeter. So maybe I'll take off the flash. It might be easier to see, but it's a great. So what I'll do is I'll start turning the fuel pump. See the way the needle starts moving? Now I have to get that back around to 0. When it gets to 0, then I'm going to lock it. That'll be 1 full millimeter. Now I'm going to leave down the camera. Ooh, too far. I'll leave down the camera now. I'll just give that a quick nip. There we go. So now I have that locked up. So you can go ahead and remove the dial gauge. And withdraw the plunger and the rod. For setting up the cam. So you get your camshaft right, you put that in, and you get him level with the head. A couple of feeler blades. It's a handy little kit. And then you have your plunger. He just inserts back into the pump. Put on the light. Here we go. Now, he inserts back into the back of the pump, just like that. You got a 12mm spanner or socket. Nip him up. So that's that part done. So the plan with this is I'm going to change the oil in the engine where it sits. I'm going to put the fuel hoses down here onto the engine where she sits, if they'll reach. They should reach. And from there then, there we go. With that done, then I should be able to start the engine on the ground. So I'll be doing a will it start video, because currently and at the moment I don't know if this engine's any good. She was sitting outside, well, it was sitting inside, but I think at some time it was sitting outside. There's no manifold on it, so a little bit of corrosion, but I've WD-40 the hell out of it, and I had to put in a new thread into this. There's one of these broken, so that's my next mission now, is to put an exhaust manifold on it, and see where we go from there.